Hello, my name is Gregg Cesario, and welcome back to week 30 of the weekly JobCommander edition of Veterans Corner. I proudly served in the U.S. Army during Vietnam from 1967 to 1969. I deemed it worthwhile to repeat my full disclosure position regarding the creation of all the previous created and future weekly Veterans Corner scripts and videos. The work is not AI-driven, nor is it AI-edited for the video presentation. All of the creation is founded upon my 50-plus years of corporate, startup, and 1099 experience since I entered the private sector in 1971, as documented in my LinkedIn resume below. Once in a while, the topic of signing a non-disclosure agreement becomes relevant with veterans seeking employment for those with high technology skills. As a veteran, I encountered that with my very first job, even though I had zero technology skills, as a soldier or as a civilian, although I did receive a high-level crypto clearance from designation shortly after entering the military. The intent of the private sector non-disclosure agreement is to protect company secrets, assets, proprietary information, processes, formulas, procedures, etc. during your period of employment. However, they may also have an impact on an individual's employment flexibility after employment ends. There may be restrictions imposed by the employer for certain career paths post-employment, especially with competitors. Much will depend on your necessary access to this confidential data in order to perform the duties of your job description. I experienced non-compete twice in my career. The first time it was without event, because it was a Fortune 10 company with whom I was employed was offering the same financial incentives far beyond standard severance packages, with medical as an incentive to voluntarily resign. Typically, non-competes are often mandatory and exclusive for high-level, highly compensated individuals, especially when it comes to formulas, processes, manufacturing, technology, and finance. The second time I experienced it, it was also when I worked for a high-tech public company. I attended board of directors meetings with investors and was regularly awarded publicly traded stock options by the board of directors. A growing company uses incentives to attract industry skills, sales performance, profitability, or as an employee retention tool. This one was a repeat of the previous RIF, a reduction in force, but it had a non-compete clause in it in the employment agreement I had knowledgeably signed. Eventually, I was RIF too, with no severance and no relief for my non-compete clause provisions. That restricted me from going to a competitor to use my skills of 20-plus years to offer as a value add for my employment. I challenged the 2-year restriction in writing on the basis of only one principle. No consideration, money, was provided as enforcement for the non-compete. I obtained a written release from the former employer and started another job immediately. There are additional provisions residing in a right-to-work state as well, but that may vary by state. The lesson for the experience is, if faced with the same decision, ask for a copy of the non-compete to review prior to signing. Perform your own research work, individually or with a professional if necessary, in order to make the correct choice for your career move. What's in your post-military career reinvention wallet? Stay motivated, and I'll see you next week.